So I think where we last left off was you talking about how you've progressed through your relationship with being away for work. And then where I kind of wanted to go with that was talking about how your relationship evolved when you moved from Queensland to Western Australia and you broke away from family, friends, all of that. And if it changed anything or nothing.
Um, yeah, it changed a lot in the sense of like it allowed us to grow more again. So having come to somewhere whereas we literally knew nobody, like going to work was like, oh hi guys, I think I'm meant to be here. I think it was good for us because we had no option other than to be out of our comfort zone when it come to meeting new people, when it come to like Sarah, like especially with Sarah growing the business. Um, it helped us just explode that growth, and that brought us closer as well. That this whole 12-month period has brought us a lot closer, and even from the drive over here, like Sarah, myself, and the two dogs, the drive was amazing, and it's just those little experiences that make life, and that was the start of an adventure for us, and this whole year has been an adventure. She's got to meet new people through her business. Her business is growing. I've got to meet new people through work. Work's great. Like I get to, my day to day is not the most exciting thing at the moment, but I still get to do like extracurricular stuff that is through work, but I really enjoy with the EOD stuff, and I also get to have time to build what I want to build outside of the Defence Force and build what my passion is.
And I think we'd touched on at some point as well, you building relationships that when you've moved away, that it might not necessarily be through work, but it can be in books or podcasts or your online forums that you're meeting people as well. So I find that like a really nice way that technology has helped connection build. Like, when you move away from familiarity and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's also great in the sense that, if you are missing family, you are missing friends, you literally just look at your phone and you can talk to them, so that's good for that. And just being here, like really pushing ourselves to meet people, but not just anybody. We want to choose who we have our time with and who we spend our time with. So we've made really amazing friends after doing Tony Robbins events. And now we have a group in Perth. I think we may have talked about this, but we have a group in Perth that we see every week, and that's like our not only accountability group, but it's a group of people we want to be spending time with because they're wanting to grow, they're wanting to like do better, and that just pushes you more as well. And you're always giving, but through giving you're taking as well, and it's really good. Yeah.
Was there any people or things that you've missed or continue to miss being here that you don't have direct access to from where you were living before with family and friends?
I would just say the connection. So, like a couple of my best mates still live in Brisbane, and just not getting to see them at all. We still like catch up, via text messages and don't really chat all that much. I think when I went to Sydney earlier this year, I got to go visit them for a weekend, and I spent maybe a morning playing, like we went to the cricket nets and had a coffee afterwards, so still got that connection there, but that is the people who you want to be spending time with that you can't. So like that's probably the one part I really do miss. And like family, like just parents and sister and Jai and that, so the connections you do miss, but you also know that you're going to see them again soon, so it all works out.
And you've got all your stuff that you're now putting so much time and energy in when you're at your work at Defence, but you've also got the other stuff that you're doing outside of work. So I think a nice way to kind of lead into the last part of this talk is you talking about where you see yourself moving forward as an individual and where you see your relationship moving forward within that.
Yeah, right. So moving forward, I want to stay in the Defence Force because I enjoy it, and it really does provide me with the opportunity to have the income to do what I want to do outside of Defence Force. So, given that, I like having a career, So I'm going to do as much as I can to build on that. So moving forward, I'm applying to commission so I can become an officer, and that itself is opportunity and growth in the career.
Yeah.
And that's good because I have to go to work 8 hours a day. So what better way to spend that than trying to grow that side of my life? But then outside of the Defence Force, so I love my investing, and I really do have a passion for contribution as well. So moving forward, I'm creating my own investment fund, but it's only because I'm not technically qualified financial advisor or investment advisor, whatever they want to call it. I haven't been to uni, so what I can do is I can create a partnership, and as part of that partnership, I can have up to 20 people a part of it, and I'm offering it to close friends and family. So then moving forward, I want to make that my eventual career, whether or not I study and make it bigger, or I keep it smaller but actually invite people who have more capital as well after a decent track record. But moving forward, I see that as where I want to spend my time, researching companies, learning better how to invest, and just creating wealth. Not just creating money, but creating actual financial wealth.
Yeah.
And the best thing about that is I get to add the win-win situation of creating that for other people as well.
Right.
So that to me is just, that's bliss.
Amazing. And I take that's all inclusive of your relationship moving forward as well, that's not just creating that for you. Like, yes, you can do it on an individual level, but it's contributing to the bigger picture. And
that's exactly right. So I will be doing this on an individual level for Sarah and myself regardless.
Yeah.
And I love it. Like I could spend, 15 hours a day researching and growing in this field, and it is a true passion. But like the fact that I can do it for myself and not actually have to do any more work but involve other people, it's like, why wouldn't you? That is legitimately the best way to contribute, because you're doing what you love but other people are benefiting as well. And like a part of that is growth in every area of my life regardless. So it's not just being better at choosing a company and working out what price to buy it and then buying it when the price becomes available and making money. It's like, what do I do with my mindset during that time? It's like continually reading, continually expanding not only my knowledge of me and the world, but just absolutely everything. So investing's not only macro, but it's micro. So I get to dig into a company and learn the ins and outs, the management team, everything like that. But it's only so good if it's like, imagine buying the typewriter company before the computer was made. Like, you need to know the macro view, like where's the world going, what's happening. So that is exciting because you just learn so much, and you find yourself going down rabbit holes of like a totally different industry. And it's like, oh wow, that's how that works. It's cool. And like I said, I really hope to help people by doing that as well. And I've found with my personal growth, personal development, and that's going to be a constant and never-ending thing that I always do, just the connection with people in my life just has exploded. Like, even if it's texting a friend or chatting or something like that, you just feel that extra emotion in the way you communicate, and it's a nice feeling. It's like it's love, like you just have a new love for everyone.
And I know some of the conversations we've had is that, and it's something that I wanted to point out, is that even when you're not working at a job that particularly lights your soul up, I know that it's strengthened or even led you to connections where you would have never have spoken to that guy, but because you've got interest and you're just doing what you're passionate about, these random people flock to you, or you have these deeper conversations, and then you realize they're interested in investing. And you could have previously thought, oh, he's the guy who's just after the super and the money or retirement fund, and then he could be potentially one of those people that comes on board as friends and family, and it makes work somewhat enjoyable. Like going to work, having a hobby, getting excited to come home is something that I'm sure adds to your health and vitality, which I know is a huge value in your life.
And especially like it creates topics to talk about as well, like rather than the
how's the weather?
Bland stuff that you just chat because you're in the same room together and you're doing things together, so you just make small talk. It's like, rather than going, oh, how are you? Oh, good. It's just like, hey, going, oh, I'm bloody amazing. I got up to this on the weekend. And you can actually create talks around growth topics, ideas, like, rather than talking about other people or, things. It's just like talking about ideas, and those conversations where you discuss ideas and like the future moving forward and what you're going to create or what you're going to do, that in itself is growth.
Yeah.
Like, whereas there's no growth in discussing another human being or discussing a thing. Like, even discussing experiences is nice. Like, and there's a level of growth to that as well. But like, just there's that next level where if you can bring that topic to a conversation and it lights the other person up as much as yourself, it creates more connection because
it does.
Yeah.
And like, what I find really interesting is that ever since we've met, like the three of us hanging out, I've always found you very interesting, and I've found our conversations very easy. So it surprises me when I think about you in a situation where communication or conversation doesn't come natural. Like, is communication something that has been a strength of yours from the get-go, or do you feel easier to talk to women or to men, or where do you sit in that?
That's like, communication necessarily hasn't been a strength. I would probably be the one to be awkward, but I'm comfortable sometimes in that. Like, you don't feel the need to discuss, but you kind of get that vibe in the room when something's just weird. So it's like, oh, how you going? Like, but
Hi.
It's getting better. Like 100%, I'm getting better with that. And it's just actually really good one that I've learned is like the acronym form. So if you don't know what to talk about, or it's just like you feel that awkward vibe, it's like family, occupation, recreation, and message. And you start with recreation. So just ask, oh, what do you like doing outside of work? And usually if you ask somebody that question, they're happy to talk for an hour. And that's perfect because, in a conversation, you learn more by listening, and people love to talk about themselves. And that's not a hit on people at all. Like, of course, because what else do we know better than ourselves?
Yeah.
So that in itself, just usually that one question lights up a conversation. That's something that I've learned through reading, through growth and stuff. So communication is 100% getting better.
Yeah.
But like, you find like when you hit it off with a new friend, or you meet somebody who you have the same interests in, there's no trouble there at all. Like, if I meet people about investing, like I got one friend who used to be my physio, and just messaging, and it's just like, do you want to start having Zoom calls, like, weekly or fortnightly, and just discussing ideas and companies and, opportunities? And it's like, yes, yes, I do, straight away.
It's a pretty incredible world that we live in now. Like, to be able to do that kind of stuff, and to be able to be having these more open discussions about things in general, and like to have, I guess, like a do conversation about it as well, because I know that they would ask things differently to, what we'd talk about, or what I'd want to know about investing would be completely different to someone who's actually in it.
Yeah.
So I find that just completely awesome. Like,
I love it.
Amazing.
It is. It's good. And like, coming back to the communication stuff, like, I would have felt awkward in those situations, but the personal growth side has really expanded that area in my life, in the sense that, like, I can have conversations and I can literally be myself more, and like show my emotion and passion in what I'm talking about, and I feel comfortable doing that now. So I feel like that helps whoever you're talking to be more comfortable doing that as well. Like, if somebody's awkward in the situation and the other person doesn't know how to deal with it, it can get quite awkward. So that's something I've noticed a lot less in my conversations.
What situation across the board do you find is your most comfortable situation?
Talking about what I know. Like,
anywhere, regardless of environment, or...
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously you got to pick the times. Like, you're not going to walk up to some random, I've been doing this. It's like...
well, I would, but speak for yourself.
In an environment where I don't know anybody, that's probably my most challenging, because it's like, you have to make that effort, and a lot of times you walk up and you want to talk to somebody, and they might not be there either. So it's like, oh yeah, but that's the best part. Like, you get to challenge yourself and get out of your comfort zone. But for myself, being in an environment with friends, and just even if it is catching up, like that stuff's great, and talking about what we're doing and how things are going. And
Yeah.
one thing I really want to incorporate in my partnership, in my investing partnership, and this is very abnormal, I would call it, is that I want it to be a partnership where we all have some input. So
Yeah.
like it's similar to like a hedge fund where one person runs a fund, but it's a partnership. It's a limited partnership with the main person running the money allocation. That's how it will be for me, because I'm doing it because I know I'm confident in what I'm doing. But I want to be able to, like, it's family and friends. I want to have like monthly Zoom calls, and it's like, oh, this is what we're doing. This is where our money is. This is why we're not investing right now. We have so much cash. We're waiting for this, or we're doing a couple of trades here, and then like an opportunity comes up. It's like, everybody get on the phone, let's chat. And it's just like, this is an opportunity. I want to know what your thoughts are. I want to do this. What are your guys' thoughts? I want them to be excited about where their money's going and the values that it's going towards. Like the companies that you're supporting with your money. Like, and then it's a connection, because we're connecting on the level of creating wealth together. And people love that. Like, who's not going to love that?
Completely. Like, and what I hear in that, which I think will be a nice way to just close this all together, is that who you've been learning from and who you look around to reflect the qualities that you want to have in your work, in your relationship, in your life, it kind of becomes who you are. Like, just say the top 5 people that we have around us, as we say. So like, who do you look for who are your role models currently? Because I know that they can change at different stages in your life, and like they can be, virtual, they can be here, they can be anywhere, it can be podcasts.
Yeah, so Tony Robbins is a big one.
Yeah.
Just because he's an amazing dude, and what he teaches is like nobody else can match that,
Yeah.
And just finishing Date with Destiny, it's like the dude walks on the screen and you just jump because he's so freaking excited. That's definitely the personal growth side of things, and I love reading his books and all that. Investing wise, I really like Phil Town. He's a American, does the Warren Buffett style investing, and he's who I learned from. And I did his workshop, and like that's how I started to go down I'm going to create my own fund, because it's just like, you can do this, and he taught me that. And then I just love everything he teaches. He's amazing. And then Bryce Holdaway and Ben Kingsley again, like they're still up there. I love listening to the Property Couch podcast, and I've read their books, and they're just simply out to help people. That's all they want to do. They want to empower people, and that's the big thing between all of these guys, is they're all out to do one thing, and that's empower people. Phil Town, he puts it perfectly. It's like, the financial world realistically want to make you feel dumb, so you won't do this yourself, and then you'll pay them, and they get money through the money that they have under management. Whereas he's just like, it's so easy, and anybody can do this. And like, I'm going to build a course around that as well, because the more education there is for people, the more it empowers people to do it themselves. So like, finance, money is not a topic spoken about often.
Yeah.
And money is easy. It is so easy. It's just they don't educate well enough through the schools, and then you have to go pay for your own education outside. But like, you got to have money to pay for the education, but you haven't been educated on how to use your money, so you don't have the money. And then investing on top of that, like it really is simple. It's not hard at all. So I really want to be able to show people that they can do it, and how simple it actually is. And it doesn't take a full-time job to do this. If you really love it and you want to spend all that time, then you're going to be a lot further on. But it doesn't take that long. It doesn't take an IQ of 160 or whatever those IQs are. Like, it's simple.
Something that I've heard you say often, it's just so easy. And I feel like it's your byline, and it's like, if I hadn't done work on myself, or have been around people who have spoken similar ways with the confidence, and even building that confidence within myself to go, oh, look at him, it's so easy. like, it must be so nice to have it all easy, but it's like, no, tell me how it is that easy, because I know that I haven't had a great relationship with money from just like growing up, and it's like my view on what it is and like the idea of having a lot is like, yeah,
you got to build the mindset to accept it.
the mindset side,
Because it
huge.
is like middle class, like Western countries always put that stigma around it.
Yeah,
They do, and depending on like if you grow up and you know you have talks around dinner table about money. Like not a lot of families do that, but that is so healthy to do it, because you know you're teaching, you know, especially if you're a good money manager yourself, you're teaching children that talking about money is good. It's not taboo, and you know I still notice, like I talk to my parents about it and it can get awkward because I'm so comfortable talking about it now, and I'm comfortable in myself, but they're still not. And then that's how I grew up. So for me to shift from that to who I am now, like you have to do the work on yourself.
Absolutely.
And you have to. Like if you don't, then it's never going to change. And if you want something different, you have to do something different. So
Absolutely. Like, do you see yourself creating a course for, you know, that can be implemented in schools? Because you could talk about, you know, how we all grew up, and it's like, it's not spoken about when you're a kid, and we know that such influence and subconscious patterning can be, you can make such an impact at such a young age. Like, do you see a role for that in primary school or high school? Or is it more of a wait until you figured out that you didn't have it all figured out and then find me?
yeah, I definitely see the need for that. I don't see myself anytime in the near future creating something to do for, you know, government education.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still doing it myself. I'm still learning as I go. So for myself, I just see a course that can be marketed to people in the terms of empowering them. So whoever that passes, you know, they have to be in their right mind for that as well. You can't push something at everybody. So it's always going to take their personal circumstances and their personal position in their mindset in their life. It's going to attract the people who are ready.
Yeah.
But the thing is, making it beginner enough that, you know, anybody who does it will understand how it works.
Absolutely.
I would love to have this stuff in schools, because especially like high school.
I think it would probably get rid of the university system though, so school would
It's
be
too
like,
much money there, so
no.
not happening. But like I even talked to my younger sister, Summer. She's really interested in the investing stuff, and like I talked to her about it, and you just see her go like, oh my god, wow, really? It's just like, unfortunately we don't talk as much because we live across the opposite sides of the countries, but like I would love to spend time with her and go through this stuff with her and show her that at the age of 16 she could completely have everything she wants by the age of 25. It's just, you know, you don't know what you don't know, and if you're not taught it, then you don't know it. So yeah, I guess that's such an amazing thing about technology and social media now, is that you're putting this in front of people's faces because they're scrolling on their phone, it pops up, and you can target that to anybody. So that in itself is powerful, and that's not a bad thing to try and advertise something and sell it to them, because if you believe in what you do so much, then it's on you to show people that. Like I think you said that one as well. It's kind of like,
it's a disservice not to share,
exactly,
isn't it?
It is.
Like it's like someone explained it really well, or maybe I read it somewhere, but it's like you get your hands on the Mona Lisa, like the original form, and you keep it locked up in a room. Do you even get to appreciate the beauty of that? Like, no. And it's not, you know, to put it in situations or to put information out there to people who aren't wanting it, or to see it, or to put it in a crappy space. It's like, where I see you've transitioned to is that because you're so comfortable in yourself and you're going to be doing this regardless, you're not trying to pull all of these people in, like, you must do this. Like, yeah, I can see how it would benefit all of your lives, and I'm excited to share this, but I don't need to share this with this particular person, this family member. if they want to come, they'll find me, and they know where I am if they want to chat. And that's
sure.
where, like, you know, Summer's come in, and your sister, and like that must be a really exciting moment for you where you just go, oh,
Yeah.
it's cool to share it with people who are interested.
That's
like,
it, and it's more empowering for them to make the decision themselves.
Correct.
Like, you're not making a decision for anybody, and you know, if you do that, then it's not going to be as interesting for them. They need to be interested. They need to want it. If they don't want it, then there's going to be no growth there.
Yeah.
It's all 100% a responsibility, and every single part of your life comes down to you, and everybody else is their own responsibility, and
Yeah.
that's probably a big learning topic right there. But, yeah.
It's been absolutely awesome chatting with you, Josh, and I can tell you right now, I wish in high school that there was a you around, because like Math B, Math A, Math B, I think I did. Yeah. What use is that? Like, I mean, I probably could have done with having some sort of life skill in how to, you know, even talk about money, because it felt like a taboo kind of subject. But I know that we're going to be in each other's lives for a very, very long time, and I'm excited to continue watch you grow as an amazing human and inspiring role model in my life. And I appreciate your time and energy and your words. It's been absolutely awesome.
I'm excited to watch us all grow together.
Yeah.
We're actually going to make some differences soon. So.
It's pretty awesome.